Okay, good morning, everyone. Michael Went with Airgun Nation here, and we have our guest, Nikolay Boldov,
Hey guys.
all the way from Moscow, Russia.
Right, right.
That is where you reside in Moscow, correct, Nikolay?
That's right. I live in Moscow, but nowadays I have 2 days of weekend at my parents' house. Is about 100 miles from Moscow to the southeast. So it's Tarusa town in Kaluska Oblast. So I'm here.
Okay, great. Well, Nikolay and I were together last week in Phoenix, Arizona for the Extreme
Yeah.
Benchrest competition. And I did some video interviews after the banquet and awards ceremony, but Nikolay and I missed each other, so now we're doing this from what are we 5,000 miles apart?
I
Something.
think even more. That's different parts of the world.
Yep, that's right. It's early in the morning here, and it's just about to the sun is about to set where you are. Correct?
Me, the exact sunset right now.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it looks beautiful over there.
Yeah, I like Russian nature.
Yeah, and here I am in my office, all dark and gloomy. Anyways, Nikolay, we are interviewing you because once again you had some amazing success at Extreme Benchrest. So instead of me trying to look at my notes, why don't you tell everyone all of the events that you medaled in this year?
Well, this year I've got silver at extreme bench rest. I've got gold at 50 yards bench rest, and I've got gold at one gun challenge. And
Awesome.
it was fourth place at extreme field target. But I've got to mention that fourth, third, and second place got the same score, that is 31. And so the places were divided just by first miss. So
Whoever missed first, yes.
right.
Okay.
It's not a bad result if you take into account that I don't practice field target at all. So
Well, that is an extraordinary feat there. So fifth, fourth, and third all tied, or sixth, fifth, and fourth.
it was fourth, third, and the second place. They were all 31 score.
Oh, okay, fantastic. Well, that's a really good result.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so you said you don't practice for field target much. So what is the most common type of shooting that you do?
Look, I'm a bench rush shooter, and I always thought, and it's my opinion that my main shooting discipline is 100 yards. That is what I prepare most, I would say, and train every week. But since that year, when we've got information that there'll be World Championship in Czech Republic in 2023 with WRABF organization that organizes official bench rest matches, there'll be a World Championship in 50 yards bench rest, 50 meters, sorry, 50 meters bench rest. And this year I started practicing it, and I found it really tricky and interesting because the X zone is such small; it's just 0.7 millimeters. It's very small, and you have to hit it. And me and my club, we found it really interesting. So I practiced it, and this year I managed to take gold at Russian Airgun Championship in that shooting discipline. And so that's the result that I've got on extreme bench rest. It was also very, very good. But previously I had experience in shooting bench rest, but to different distances with we had to hit steel targets with a side of about 1.5 inches to the distances from 50 meters to 120 meters. And so I just have experience of ballistic calculations.
Okay.
And I think that it really helps to shoot the extreme field target.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you
Yeah.
sound like a more well-rounded shooter than you're giving yourself credit for. And that's a good
Well,
thing. Yeah. So one of the questions I was asking a lot of the competitors, especially those who made on the podium, is if they typically practice in fair weather or in poor weather. And from what I understand, you practice in some pretty extreme conditions.
Look, my answer is very simple. I practice every week, every weekend, and I absolutely don't care which the weather is. If it rains or if it's snow, if it's minus 30 degrees Celsius, I go out and practice. It doesn't matter. I go out to open field because I have to work with flags. I have to read wind correctly. Otherwise, I won't get enough experience to get to top, try to get to top on this kind of competitions, because I understand that from the very whole world, best of the best people take their best to come to shoot and to win. So there's no any other chance to win but to practice.
Yeah, well, that's very impressive. All right, so you said that you took first place in the one gun challenge, correct?
Right, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, and for those of you who don't know what the one gun challenge is, that means Nikolay has to use the same gun for all of the different disciplines at Extreme Benchrest. And
Yeah.
and I believe it has to be 22 caliber or less, correct?
Right.
Okay. Well, do you have your air rifle with you today?
Yes, of course I have it with me. You've got to mention that it's the same gun, the same pellet, and the same scope. So those are the
The requirements.
conditions that have to be. Let me switch my camera and show you my setup, if you don't mind.
Of course, yes. Please take us through it from the buttstock all the way up to the muzzle.
Yeah, so originally it is FX Crown MK2, and here I use Saber Tactical chassis. I really like it because it is very steady, rock solid, and it is regulated. So I can regulate the back part, the cheek piece, and it allows me to fold the stock to make it more compact to transport it when I need to do it. The scope I use here is Callis K525i. So it is first focal plane scope. It gives, I would say, one of the best pictures I've ever met. Very good scope and very reliable. The mounts are FX No Limits mounts. The bubble level is Hawk, it seems to me. Yeah. What else? Custom-made grip that is made and modeled especially for my hand, so very, very
Interesting.
yeah, body oriented, I would say. We made a 3D scan of my hand, then we modeled this grip, and it's really, really good.
Oh, that's
Another
neat.
modification. Yeah, yeah, you just can see that my hand just, it almost glues to it, and it's very good for me. Another modification I made, I thought that it would be much better for Benchrest shooting. I changed the back rider, and I made it in one line with the barrel. So if I have a recoil, it goes straight back, and it's much easier to keep the cross on the target when I need it. And
Wait, that makes sense.
here
Let me stop you right there, because some people might not understand that it's much better to let your air gun recoil if it's going to, rather than to try to fight the recoil. Right?
Well,
so you let it
right.
slide
Well,
back a little bit if it wants to, correct?
Right, absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
And when you use this kind of back rider, when it goes on the same line as the barrel, your recoil goes straight back, and it allows you to shoot more accurate. And I tried this type of back rider, and I really like it. So this one and this one are made by myself, and it's really good.
Perfect. Okay, I just wanted to touch on that. Let's go ahead and continue the overview of your setup.
Let's go to the barrel. So originally, as we are under sanctions, I couldn't get this rifle assembled. And I've got the main block of the gun and used barrel from my FX Impact M3. So it's usual STX Superior barrel. The liner is put into how it's called, carbon fiber sleeve.
Okay.
It's glued in carbon fiber sleeve. Carbon fiber sleeve is glued into the barrel, and barrel is glued into very thick, it's 25 millimeter, almost 1 inch carbon fiber tube. So it is rock solid, very hard, and there's almost no vibrations here. It's very important for me because I want to be absolutely sure that everything is firm, steady, and rock solid. And I'm absolutely happy with that stuff. And during competitions, many people could see the videos from my scope cam. It is not on now, but that's the part that allows me to fix it on the scope. Unfortunately, it was broken during transportation, so I had to use duct tape to fix it.
Yeah.
To be able to show you the videos. But everyone's seen these videos, and as for me, it's very good because it doesn't makes any problems for me. I shoot as I usually do and have high quality 4K picture from my scope, and everyone can see what I did, how I did, what wind corrections I did, because we have 3 pictures in one. It's picture from the scope, picture from camera to the flags, and picture that shows what I did.
Oh.
So it gives the full complex of information to analyze our shooting, our mistakes, and to develop ourselves.
Wow, very good. Now you made that scope cam, correct? Is that your brand?
I invented in 2016, before any other scope cam appeared with using action camera with changed lens. So it was 2016, and as a fact, I was the very first one. Just I started that question.
Okay. Do you make those for retail sale or just for private use?
I privately sell it because the market is not that large, so to say. And it's my brand, Raspberry Scope Cam, because my name is Raspberry. Yeah, it's Raspberry Scope Cam, and the site is scopecam.pro. You can go there just and study all information about it you need.
Okay. And you were moving on to your bipod now.
Right, absolutely. So those are F-class bipods that are also made by my project and my design. I wanted to have simple, steady, and rock-solid bipods that have very easy regulations. This one allows us to make any tilt regulation of our gun. This one allows us to get up and down. And everything is very solid, locked by fast locking systems. So it is easily attached, easily detached. And I'm very happy to see that a lot of guys from extreme Benchrest shooting nowadays using them. And nowadays champion that got the first place also uses those bipods. So Raspberry's bipods are rather good. It's an F-class bipods.
Neat. Is that a hydraulic piston?
Right.
Huh. Okay. That's to help raise it under pressure, under weight?
That helps to absorb any vibrations.
Ah, interesting.
Yeah, so it's a kind of absorber. That's how it works. So, yeah.
Wow, very neat.
Yes, and another part that is really important, and I was crazy because I've taken my rear bag with sand from Russia, with all that crazy weight, above 10 pounds.
Yeah.
But it's very important to have consistent pressure on that bag when you shoot. And I didn't want to descend it and to send it again in the United States because I couldn't be sure that I'll do it exactly the same way as I do it in Russia.
Yeah.
So I've taken it as it is and made shooting. And, it's always good to be sure that everything is the same.
Yes.
And I forgot to tell you that another part I use here, those are digital segment gauges that always show me correct pressure. This one shows me the pressure is in the air tank, but there's no pressure right now because I didn't put any air. And this one shows me the pressure in my regulator pressure. So I always can check it, adjust it if I need, and I'm absolutely sure that digital gauges will give me always absolute true information.
Okay. Makes good sense. Okay, so it looks like you traveled with a 10-pound weight inside your rifle bag there.
Right. Absolutely.
And I also see what looks like to be maybe like a TSA check card. So they
Oh
went through
yeah.
your rifle. So I remember in years past, you actually had some problem traveling with a rifle or a barrel or something in particular.
Right. Just I have gained experience during my international travels with my gun. Now I know all the procedure, and to tell the truth, I would say that no one of air security guys know how to do it correctly. That is why when I check in my gun, I give them instructions that they have to check everything. They have to call TSA officers. TSA officers have to check if there's any air in the gun or not. I show them that my air tank is out of any air, so they check it. They put all correct papers in the tank, in my case.
Mhm.
Then we seal it. And this time I didn't have any problems with it because I know the procedure and I tell them how to do it correctly. So, so it's solution, really.
There you go. Okay, so this year you were actually able to bring all of the equipment that you were comfortable with to the match with
Yeah.
you.
Yes, absolutely.
Huge benefit there.
Yeah, yeah. I use my own flags also. They're rather light, but it's always there are no small things when we speak about high accurate shooting, and my flags are rather simple. But I get used to them, and my brains know which holdover to take in which wind conditions when I read those flags.
Hmm.
So it was also important for me. It took a lot of place in my baggage, but I used them, and I was very happy because I used them since I think 2018. And so we have long story of relationship, so to say.
Yeah, good. All right, well that's great. So we heard all about your rig. Um, we know about some of your success, but many people probably don't know much about you, Nikolay. Are you a family man?
Yes, I'm a family man. I have my beautiful wife. I have 3 kids. So my elder girl is 14 already. My boy is 7 years old. And my little angel is just 3 years old now. So I'm absolutely happy in my family. And it, it makes, I think that family makes every man be motivated to develop, to continue moving, and to get something new because you always want to give your family the best you can. So it really helps.
Yeah. Okay, so it's a big commitment for you to to travel from Moscow to the United States, right? Not only with your time spent practicing, the time away from your family, but also the monetary investment. I'm certain that it's not cheap for you to take off for a week or two and then travel to the United States. So, how many events do you have to win to make this a good trip for you?
Uh, Look, you have to understand that this time my travel was very different because I ran out of my United States visa and I had to renew it. Nowadays, again, due to sanctions, no any Russian is able to get United States visa in Russian.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got status of homeless people from the government of United States that allows us to get a visa worldwide.
Mm.
But the problem is that there are so little slots in United States embassies abroad that we're almost not able to get any slot for interview.
Okay.
And why we have to search worldwide to be able to get some. And I had to go to Malaysia just 3 weeks before Extreme Benchrest, spend there a week to come through all those obstacles, I would say, to get my United States visa. I succeeded, so I got my visa, get home, had my work. Then I had to go to Czech Republic to get some of my guns. Then I had to get back to Russia, have my work, and then I came to Extreme Benchrest. So September, I would say, was the most complicated month in my life.
Oh, wow.
And if to speak about money compensation from prizes that I've got, no, it doesn't cover my costs.
It doesn't cover you. Okay.
Absolutely.
So you do it for the love of the sport and hopefully better things, compensation in the future then.
See, I don't think that there is any chance, if we speak about Extreme Benchrest, there's no any chance to compensate my costs, even if if I...
Full screen. All right, we're back from a little communication issue, which is acceptable because we're on opposite sides of the world here.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
So if to get back to your question, no, for me, even winning all the events of Extreme Benchrest will hardly cover my costs for that trip. So it's much more like pure sport, I would say. It's not a way to earn money, no.
Okay. Well, you are definitely a fierce competitor. What do you think your favorite event was at the Extreme Benchrest?
Well, my favorite event is almost the challenging one for me, and it's Extreme Benchrest 100 yards Benchrest. Because this time, first of all, we had very strong shooters, and Fernando, yeah, his name is Fernando.
Jeffrey Hernandez.
Yes, Jeffrey Hernandez. Yeah, so he is just brilliant shooter. I've understood it previous year when we shot side by side. He just was to the left hand from me. I've seen the style he shoots, so it's absolutely the same style of shooting. I call it intelligent bench press shooting, when you don't shoot fast, but you analyze every shot from the beginning till the end, and it was cool. And this competition was, I would say, one of the hardest for me. My brains were close to blow. I didn't publish the video yet. I will publish it, I think, in a week, so you will have an opportunity to see in real 4K quality how did I do it, how I shot, and analyze all the situation. It was really interesting, and it was cool.
That's great. Well, I've watched you shoot for a couple years now, and it's always fascinating and very enlightening to watch a professional like you shoot. So I think everyone could benefit probably from watching your video through your scope cam as well, your technique and all that.
Look, that is the only reason why I do it is to develop our sports. Just seeing my channel, following my channel, I would say that at least several couples of good shooters came to our sports in Russia. And after they came, they started shooting in our club, and some of them became Russian Airgun champions. So my reason is achieved. I know that my videos allows me to bring new people to our sports, and that's perfect.
That's great. And tell everyone where they can find these videos once they get published.
So it's YouTube, and channel is called Russ Beer RB. So all together. That's simple. Or you just try to search Russ Beer, and that's all.
Okay.
You'll get the video from my channel.
Good. And Nikolay is saying in English, Russ Bear, like the big furry animal, not the beer you drink. So Russ Bear.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Well, Nikolay, you've come so far, and it's always a pleasure watching you shoot. Is there any one or any multiple people that you would like to thank or give recognition for helping you get to where you are today?
Yes, absolutely. Guys, I don't think that I will tell the full story right now, but I will publish it in several days when I will get my report from Extreme Benchrest. It's not a documentary video because you won't get much video. I didn't make it this time. I wanted just to shoot and to concentrate on it. But I would say that I will never get all the prizes, and I will even not have an opportunity to compete in all these shooting disciplines this time without full support of Utah Airgun team and Justin Jacobson, because those guys, they're awesome, and I just appreciate their help, and I feel proud being a part of that team because they behave themselves really like a family. And if not their support, if not their very hard position before this competition started, I would have an opportunity to shoot only 2 disciplines. It's Benchrest 100 and speed silhouette. But thanks to them and to some other guys, my opportunities met together with reality. So I'm very happy.
Well, that's great. Well, we love seeing you in competition, and we love following your success. You seem like a really genuine person that, even though we're so far apart, I could reach through the screen and hug you.
Oh, yeah. I'd like to hug you too. I'm sure that we'll meet each other on Rocky Mountain Airgun Challenge because I don't have any limits for visa now. And I really hope that our governments will not invent something new and not to allow me to come. So I hope to meet you there.
Yes, me too. Well, thank you so much for your time, Nikolay. Congratulations with your success, and best of luck with everything that you do.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure to meet you, to be interviewed, to communicate, and to share the world information I wanted to share. Thank you.